Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Charlestown's working meeting tonight. It is March 25th. If we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mary, can you lead us off tonight? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Since we have a couple people online tonight, we're going to skip to new business and we're going to start with the community solar program. Kimberly, Dana.
Yes, hi there. I'm actually just waiting for Sasha, I think, to join here. I've just pinged him, just making sure.
Okay.
I apologize.
Did you want to wait a second?
If you don't mind, yep, I'm sorry. He has our presentation and he's the presenter, so I'm just waiting for
him. All good.
Thank you.
Okay. Caitlin, are you on?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You do mean Caitlin with Sims and not another Caitlin. I went to high school with a lot of Caitlins.
Yes. It is all you. Thank you for coming tonight. I know that, or online tonight, I know that we all talked, or Mary and I have talked to you, but thank you for being able to talk to the rest of the commissioners.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, just let me know a little bit of what you're looking to hear or see from me. And I can turn my video on here. There you go. Pardon my dog who has joined.
Like fur babies.
Excellent. So, yeah, I'm the customer success specialist with Sims Cemetery Software. We have created a software for cemetery management, helps our clients to manage their records as well as their maps to keep track of their inventory and understanding who owns what, who is buried where, and kind of all the information that you would need to track within your cemetery. So yeah, just let me know a little bit. Would you like to see some of the software itself? I can answer
If
any
you could do
questions.
that, because I know when we were talking, Mary and I were talking to the rest of the board, sometimes things get lost in translation. So that would be good.
Sure. Yeah, my pleasure. Am I able to share my screen?
Hang on one second.
Sure.
Yeah, so you'll put that one.
You should be now.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share. And I'm going to take us to, this is our Sims Platinum demo. I'll take us out to home screen. So what this is Sims Platinum is one of 3 different versions of our product. We have Sims Lite, Sims Gold, and Sims Platinum. Sims Platinum was our first product. We started in 1998 with the city of Manitowoc, Wisconsin. So our first client was a municipal cemetery. And I'd say probably to this day, about 65 to 70% of our cemetery clients are municipal as well. We wrote this software from scratch for the city of Manitowoc. They were using all paper records and maps, and they were looking for something more secure. So what we did was we recreated their paper maps digitally and overlaid them over an aerial image of their cemetery. We can use drone or whatever is best available on Google, depending on the cemetery's wishes. And once we recreate everything, we connect that to a database, either something that we upload into the software if cemeteries are using Excel documents or existing cemetery software. We can also create an Excel spreadsheet for cemeteries that are migrating data from paper records, or cemeteries can do manual input themselves. But what we do is we link it to a database so that when you click on a gravesite, all of the cemetery's information will come up as well. So this is just kind of our home screen right here. This is an actual client of ours, the Guardian Angel Cemetery in Oakdale, Minnesota. Oh, and I should mention, our company is based in Wisconsin, but I'm a Maryland native. I'm calling you right now from Walkersville, Maryland in Frederick County. So hometown to represent here. We are also the cemetery management software provider for the Naval Academy in Annapolis. So those are some of our Maryland clients. And I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. I can get back to the home screen at any point by clicking this button here. If I were out in the cemetery on a mobile device like a smartphone or a tablet, I could place this GPS marker and it would show my location on the map in relation to the grave that I'm looking to find. I'm going to use this tool here to zoom in a little bit and show you kind of more what we've done here. And as I do that, you can see how not only are we showing the cemetery as a whole, but it's also broken down into its individual sections, lots. So you see our lot numbers here, and then the grave sites themselves. And we lay this all out according to the cemetery's instructions as to dimensions. If we're provided a scale map, we'll go by that scale. And everything is sized to scale. We do have a ruler tool here so that we can provide accurate measurements to contractors or to ground crew if need be. Right here, but you'll also see I've got a legend down here that shows what the colors of each gravesite mean. And this is entirely customizable. You'll probably hear me say that several times tonight. Sims is a really flexible program, and each one of our clients can really customize what their view is like here. So for our purposes tonight, green means the space is available. And any space that is a pale blue here means that the site has been sold pre-need, but nobody is currently buried there. And then, of course, these darker color blue shapes are our sites with a burial. If I were to zoom out enough, the burial shape would disappear and we would just see the colors. So what we're trying to provide is a way for our clients to look at the map and just see at a glance what's available, what's sold, where the burials are. But as I zoom in, you'll see we do have those burial shapes. Those are, depending on what the cemetery's preference is, you can set standards that you always pick for full body and for cremation burial. Guardian Angels tends to use the coffin shape, even though they do require outer burial containers such as vaults or concrete liners. The coffin shape allows us to see the orientation of the burial. So which end is the head, which end is the foot, which can be super, super useful for a cemetery manager. And then when I click on a grave site, all of the records associated with that grave will come up here. So ownership, who purchased it, when was it purchased, how much was it purchased for, and any information about the grave itself. You'll see in each one of these tabs, we have an area where we can upload what we refer to as media. That can be any image or document that you would like to associate with this record. And I can choose files that I've scanned and saved into my computer, or I can hook up my computer to a document camera or a web camera and just hold up a document and click capture. It'll take a photo of that document or that image picture and upload it directly in. For cemeteries that have a lot of physical documents that they want to digitally protect and preserve, I highly recommend those document cameras, regardless of what version of software people go with. Just from experience, it'll save you hours of scanning and saving. We have our burial information, so everything about the decedent or decedents that are in a grave site. So you see this site here and several of these spaces in the cemetery have 2 or more burials. There's no limit in Sims as to how many burials you can record in one grave site. It's just a matter of what the cemetery policy is. If I wanted to add a third, if a third person was to be buried here, I could just click new burial and choose my shape and then go from there. And you'll see in that new burial, I can position the shape, the burial. I can change the orientation, and I can also change the size as needed. I'll cancel and leave the Roshnot family alone right there. But if you'd like to see me do a burial from scratch, I'm happy to show that to you. Markers, we record those very similarly to burials. We would just add a shape of our choosing, and there's no limit in Sims, again, as to how many markers you can have within the dimensions of one grave. It's completely up to the cemetery. See, we have one stone that spans 3 grave sites here, and then some of these are marked at the foot as well. So I can see all the information that the cemetery has on file about this, upright triple headstone. And here's where the media becomes really, really useful, is you can upload images of the stone once it's been delivered or placed out in the cemetery. Deeds, so we can generate deeds in the program, or we can upload images of an existing physical deed depending on the cemetery's needs there. But we have a stock deed in program that will autofill and can be signed in the program, can be printed out. We also have the ability to, as a line item in our proposals, we have the ability to digitally recreate the look and the language of a deed that a cemetery is using. So this is what Guardian Angels was using, and we just programmed Sims to recreate this and autofill out what spaces are being purchased, who is purchasing them, how much are they being purchased for, etc. And then I can just save that and always have the deed on file for my needs or the needs of the family. And we can do this with pretty much any document that the cemetery wants to be able to recreate in Sims, like contracts or interment forms and the like. And then all of the media that you upload into the previous tabs can also be found here. So you can track as much or as little as you like. Care reports, not every cemetery client of ours uses these. Some cemeteries will have folks pay regular fees either for flowers to be placed at certain times of year, or in drier climates, watering grave sites is a regular fee. You can track those here just by adding a fund and specifying what it's for. Or you can choose not to use that at all. And we have some generic reports for the space. Our lot report lets us know who in lot 60 is buried where, who owns what sites. And we also have the ability, and this is new, this might be new since the last time I spoke with you, Mary, is we have the ability to do a map to space in Sims Platinum, which if somebody calls the cemetery and says, I'm on my way, I want to visit my loved one, I don't remember where the site is, I'll be there after you close, can you send me a map? So you could save this as a PDF and email it, or if someone is in your office in front of you and you don't have time to go out in the cemetery with them, you can print this map off and it'll show you, where that space is located in the general cemetery, and then some zoomed in views. So you can play with these and zoom in or out as much as you need to kind of show folks, give them a good idea of what they'd be looking for. But that's the right-hand menu in a nutshell. And then the way that we search those records generally, other than just clicking around on the map, if I wanted to search, I have a complete list of my cemetery inventory on the left here. And this is organized in Sims Platinum like this, where we create the maps for you. We will create this list to your specifications and make sure that every gravesite is accounted for. In Sims Gold and Sims Lite, which are more user controlled and less complex, it's a less robust program, then users will create their own lists, but we will train all Sims clients on everything. We provide unlimited virtual training as well as tech support, and that's included in annual maintenance fees. I can search the records by name, by burial date, by grave site, and I have burials as my kind of regular search here, but I can change that to search by markers, by ownership, by customers, by work orders, etc. The idea there. And then we have additional reports for cemeteries use, such as burial activity reports, sales activity reports, veterans reports. If you want a complete list of veterans in your cemetery, we can run those as well. And that's kind of a very general overview of Sims Platinum. And I realize I've been talking for a really long time. So thank you all for bearing with me. Does anyone have any questions that I can address?
What you just talked to us was the Platinum program, correct?
Yes,
You
that's
showed us
correct.
the best.
Yeah, that's the best one for sure.
It was
Now,
a couple weeks ago that we saw
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
differences.
yeah.
Just in a nutshell, could you
Mhm.
go over, like, we just saw Platinum and it's got everything and then some.
yeah,
What would be
yes,
the next two steps?
sure.
We went
So,
down one and then
absolutely. So Sims Lite and Sims Gold are our two other versions of the program. And I'll say off the bat, all of the data management that you can do with Platinum, you can also do with Sims Lite and with Sims Gold. The major difference, and you'll see that right away, is the map itself. So with Sims Lite, there is no kind of visual whatsoever. There's just the records and the database that we create. So, our left-hand flyout menu and our right-hand flyout menu are static. The map is no longer how we navigate the system. So we're really going to rely on this list of inventory and our search bar to, find where we're going in the cemetery. But if you know somebody's name or the space where they're buried, you'll have no problem with that. We can still run all of the same reports. Everything looks the same: ownership, burials. We're still able to track the same thing. We have the same amount of control over, what our database looks like to us. I can still edit the cemetery settings. I can add additional statuses or input fields for each one of these kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Constants, like ownership. If I know I'm never going to track who reserved the space for somebody or who the sales agent was, I can get rid of all these and they won't pop up and clutter my feed. If I know I'm never going to use the care fund tab at all, I can deselect that and completely just remove it from my database there and kind of streamline everything. I can do that with Platinum as well, but I just want to make it clear that all of that flexibility we have with Platinum, we still have it with Sims Lite and Sims Gold. What we lose is if you're a visual person, we don't have that kind of visual navigator in the map anymore.
And you
But
do have all the information that would be on Platinum.
we
And let me
do.
ask a question about the cemetery you showed to us first, because maybe
Yeah.
it'll clarify my mind. How old is that cemetery? Because
Oh,
you have data, but our town was founded in 1742, and
Sure.
I don't know the date of the church, but it's not probably shortly after that.
You got it.
So we may not have phenomenal records.
Mhm.
How do
Oh,
we
yeah.
how do we go about get it? Because the data is what we want, but we may not have the data.
Sure, absolutely. So not every space you'll see is going to be as filled out as the ones that I showed you. I think Guardian Angels goes back to the mid 1800s about. They've got an older section,
Mhm.
and here I can show you those as well. So part of the reason we make our database so flexible is because, yeah, cemeteries have varying levels of, records. Sometimes we know every single thing there is to know about a family and the spaces they purchased. And sometimes maybe we know the name of the person who's buried there, and that's it. And that's okay. So yeah, this one is fair new. Let's see if I can find an older one. And worst case scenario, I can show you my hometown, Frederick, Maryland. I found out after I was hired that St. John Cemetery, which all my friends broke into after school, was is a client of ours. So that's always fun. Um,
So you've been back to bring the headstones back up and stuff?
Oh no, we never did anything like that. Just smoking.
Okay.
And I wasn't a cool kid, so I didn't break into the cemetery. I just walked around and looked for people with the same age as me. There we go. So here we are, St. John's Cemetery. So this is one, and this I know dates back to the late 1700s, early 1800s, just because this is where I lived for most of my life. But I'll see if I can find you
A lot of
an
graves.
older grave.
Yeah.
And this is not a demo, so I'm not going to mess around with any of these, but let's see if I can find a burial where the burial date was before
Can
1800.
you actually search by like burial date?
I sure can.
Yeah.
So here we go. So let's see.
Put in Richard's birthday. Ouch.
Yeah, so we have a couple people. Our earliest burial here was young Winnie, or Winnie Young, I guess, in 1786. And yeah.
Yeah, went to prom with her.
Yeah, thank you.
So we do have a picture of Winnie Young's headstone.
Wow.
But as far as ownership goes, I'm sure they didn't know who actually paid for that gravesite. We don't have how much it cost. They put in the name of the decedent as the name of the owner. And that's really all we need in order to record a burial is what type of burial is it and who is the owner. And you can, depending on your records or your preference, if the owner is unknown, you can simply leave it unknown, which is accurate, but sometimes makes it difficult to search because if you type in unknown in that search, it's going to bring up all the graves where you have unknown as the owner. So that can be a good or a bad thing. You can also just decide if you don't know who the legal site owner is to record the decedent's name or the person who's buried there. So there is nothing wrong with that, and that's absolutely fine. So we've talked to folks who have, every field filled out, and other folks who, before they got a software system, they weren't even using lock cards. They were using, napkins and whatever writing utensil was handy. So yeah, it's designed to hold as many records as you have to keep track of.
And
Does that
whether
help
it's
answer
light-
your question? Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, we were
Well,
looking to see
yeah.
how old was it? Because ours is old, and we were wondering, like, we might not
Absolutely.
have some of the information.
But
Yeah.
were there records of Winnie, or is the information just simply from her headstone and the date on the
So
headstone?
I'm not sure how St. John's did their data input. I think they did manual data entry. I can double check for sure. But yeah, what they would have done is they just would have put in what they have. And if they don't have the physical records, then yeah, if there's a headstone on site, a lot of our clients will enter the data that way, and they'll just go to the
Mhm.
burial and say, this is who's here, or ownership, this is who's buried here. So we don't have anything saying otherwise that they didn't own the space.
Right.
So
And
we'll
whether
just
you're
put that in.
using light or gold, you can still upload pictures,
Exactly.
tombstones. So really
Yes.
basically the platinum one gives you that plot,
Wow.
gives you the
Yes.
map.
It gives you the map.
Does gold give you the map too?
So Gold does have a map feature, but it is all user built. So I do want to be really clear, like in Platinum, we build the map for you, and that's what that, budgeting is for. The Gold map, we'll program it in, and that's what you'll see some of this is map fee for Sims Gold for a cemetery your size. I think it's like 800 or something. And that's just for us to program this extra tab here that Light does not have. And it'll be an aerial image of your cemetery, either whatever is best available on Google or drone footage, which allows for clearer picture, but also more accurate GPS coordinates. It's completely up to the cemetery what they want to use. I will say as well, if you have someone in your municipality that does drone, you don't have to get it from us. I'm able to send the specifications that we would need to incorporate someone else's drone footage into Sims. It just needs to be geo-referenced so that, you could still get navigation to this site if need be. But what you would do once we program this in, so you would drop a pin for each grave site in your cemetery. So it's tedious, but it's a far lower cost point, and you do still get all of the same data management capabilities. You can still create work orders. You still have use of, our calendar app in Light and Gold. Really, the only difference is that scale interactive GIS, like official map. This is going to be closer. Some of our competitors, this is like what they offer for mapping. So we created this to, stay in competition and offer smaller cemeteries an option that, maybe if you don't need something as robust as Platinum, but you still want a visual, this is a really great alternative for that. I will say, if you don't think you have the time or the patience to drop a pin for every gravesite in your cemetery, don't pay for gold. Just get Sims Lite because it is exactly the same with the exception of this map tab. I've talked to some gold clients in the past, and when I ask them about the map, they tell me, oh, well, we love the software, but we never use the map. And that breaks my heart because they're paying like an extra $200 a year for nothing. So I do like to be very, very clear about that in the demo. And we'll teach whoever, is going to be doing this activity, how to map everything out. And the nice thing about the gold map, there's pros and cons. It's definitely less detailed, but we do have more flexibility. So, if you are looking at the map and you say, oh, so-and-so's grave isn't supposed to be here, it's supposed to be over here, then I can just drag and drop and click finish moving pins when I've got the map to my satisfaction. Another thing that you can do rather than, drop pins from the office is you could pull this up on, a tablet or a laptop or even your smartphone if you have one, and you can go out in the cemetery and from somebody's record, you can go to their map tab and move the pins around or pin it out by entering the latitude and longitude of where you're currently standing. So if people were to go out in the cemetery, you could plot all the points by their actual physical latitude and longitude. So that's another way to do that. And then when you're done, you just hit finish moving and it'll lock everything in. And this is just kind of designed to show where in the cemetery is the grave that I'm currently looking at. So this is my space ID. This is the address for a specific grave. But if I wanted to go to, let's see, I'll go to a burial. If I want to look up Alma Smith's burial, I'm looking at all of her records here, which again, not a lot. I know when she was buried and I know her name, and that's about it. But we do have, some physical media that the cemetery decided to upload. We've got her original lot card and her burial transit permit in here. But if I want to see where in the cemetery she's buried, I can go to the map here. And there, we're in a different spot down here at the bottom. And then I can always click around to other sites. And the legend still holds true. I think we don't have the legend up here, but if I go to the list, it gives our color coding up here. So I can look around and say, oh, there's a couple available spaces up here, and there's a couple available spaces down here. So I'll click on that. It still says available, but if I want to actually do anything with that gravesite, I can't do it from the map like I could in Platinum. I have to click on the space ID, and then I can go in here and change the status from available to sold, enter my new customer information, etc. So I can still, the map is still a tool, but it's more of a supplementary tool than the main feature.
So if we need a refresher on this,
Mhm.
is there a way to get that? Like, would you have a charge to come in and do that again, or on Teams and do that again?
Oh, no, unlimited. We typically start with like a 2-hour training session that we'll record. We'll use Teams or Zoom, whatever kind of source is best for you. And we'll spend a couple hours on there just going through every feature, regardless of what version you go with. And that's at no cost. And then from there, any additional virtual sessions that you want to schedule, whether it's just like a quick question, or if you hire new staff, or if it's been a couple months and you want to make sure that you're doing things right and you want to schedule something longer, it is all included in your annual maintenance fee, along with tech support. Any questions that you have is all included in the annual maintenance. We can do on-site training in person, and with me being in Maryland, that won't cost you an arm and a leg, but it is an additional cost just for them to pay for folks' travel and time while they come out. So we can absolutely do it. I just like to let folks know that there is a free option, and it is unlimited, so that you don't end up paying for anything unnecessarily.
Thank you.
So
One
the-
thing that I can't remember,
Yeah.
than when we talked the last time, do all three versions, is there a way that we can have it forward facing that people can look up people?
Yes, we can do it with all three, although I will say Sims Lite, that doesn't have any mapping whatsoever, that can be, it doesn't help people locate graves unless you upload in the media, like a picture of the map and where they are, that sort of thing. Because all it will show is the person's space ID and the information about the decedents. So unless somebody works in a cemetery, then that's not going to be as useful for them. But let me show you what burial search looks like for gold. It's gonna almost, well, platinum, it's gonna look just like your what you'd see on the back end. But Sims Gold, you'll get your aerial image. And then if I'm looking up, say I want to find Alma Smith again, I just search, I can do full name, last name, anything like that. But there's Alma B. Smith. And I can then get, if I were on a mobile device in the cemetery, I could get walk to grave directions. I can get Google navigation coming away.
That's
And-
on gold.
That's
That's-
what I want.
Yeah. So burial search is a hugely beneficial tool for your community. And we can turn it on at any point. So depending on how you do data entry, for cemeteries that are doing all of that data entry in-house and typing it in manually, which a lot of our clients do, data migration, especially for smaller cemeteries, can be more expensive than it's worth. But once if it's going to take a cemetery a couple months or a year to get their records to a point where they are ready to share them with the public, you can just call us at the end of that first year and say, hi, we'd like to add burial search now to our Sims package. And we can activate it at that point. So because it's a one-time cost as well as an additional yearly fee that would be charged at the same time as your regular Sims, because we'd be hosting 2 websites at the same time. So I do recommend that if you're doing manual data entry, wait until that's completed and then turn burial search on, and you won't be paying for time that you're not using it.
Not sure what it's LiDAR or sonar or whatever, but with all 3 packages, we get that, right? That's how you determine where the graves are and where people are buried. Is that,
Oh,
am
so
I confusing things?
No, you're good. We do most of our work remotely. We use the map, they'll show where folks are. And again, if we come out and do drone, then yeah, we are coming out in person. But a lot of our clients, like this is just a Google Earth map. And we can still do it all remotely because this is georeferenced. It does have, the location on the planet of where these graves actually are. Again, something like this would be, we'd program the map in, but your staff would be dropping the pins where the actual graves were. With Sims Platinum, most of my GIS colleagues, they do most of their work from our Wisconsin offices unless they're actually physically in the cemetery and flying drone. But
They don't.
It's
Yeah.
a separate, it's a
Okay,
separate.
that's a separate thing. Okay.
yeah,
What
Yeah.
Richard is talking about is that add-on package because we don't know where
oh, sure,
everybody's
the burial
buried.
search. Mhm.
And our one plot or area,
Right.
it's on a hill. And I work at APG and I was talking to the people that run the cemetery down there. And I was
Mhm.
telling them about this hill and we only have a couple of tombstones. And he said, as old as what our town is, there's a great possibility that those tombstones fell over and the dirt came on top of them.
They're
So we
buried
don't
under
know
that
what's
hill.
there. So we're trying to figure out even who is over there, if there's people over there, or what's
Yes.
going on with that lot. Plus, with the bigger cemetery,
Yes.
not everything is marked.
Sure. Sure. Absolutely. I had been speaking with Mary about GPR as or ground penetrating radar as a tool. So, and I apologize, I haven't really talked a lot about that. So we had been in discussion and there is pricing in your proposal to do ground penetrating radar on all three cemeteries. And depending on your budget and what your priorities are at this point, you can do those separately or together. You can do ground penetrating radar and then worry about a software afterwards, whatever is easiest for you. But our contractor, Todd, has come up with pricing to essentially survey all three cemeteries, and they're listed as separate line items in your proposal. So you can choose as much or as little as you want to do at this time. But what he does is he'll come out with his equipment and he will survey the area, whether it's a portion of the cemetery or the whole cemetery. And his equipment will pick up disturbances in the soil that are consistent with the opening and closing of a grave. And he can find that for folks who are buried in, vaults, concrete, slate, what have you, folks that are just buried in a casket, even people that were just buried in a shroud. As long as, the ground was opened and then closed, his equipment will pick it up. It's very sensitive and he works with all types of soil, all sizes of graves too. He finds infant graves as well as cremation graves. Sorry, was that a question?
Well, I have one.
Yeah.
Is there a length of time due to natural
Yeah, sure.
deterioration? Yes, that limits that because of how old.
No, he will ask, how old are the burials we're looking at. I think that'll determine any additional equipment that he brings in. But yeah, he surveys cemeteries dating back to the 1600s, so won't be a problem.
Wow.
Yeah, and some of the tools they've come out with, this is fairly new. Now, I'm used to the ground penetrating radar tool looking like a push mower, kind of. That's what they used at the cemetery where I worked when they were surveying for a new section in their cemetery. And they found old infant graves, old cremation graves in an area that was never laid out. People had just been going on their own and burying cremated remains for maybe
Mm.
hundreds of years. We don't know, but we're glad we did the radar because
Yeah.
otherwise we would have disturbed that whole area. um, but this portion of the map shows an area of guardian angels where they didn't have any existing maps to go off of. And their records were hit or miss at best. So Todd went out there with GPR, and anywhere you see like a black dot on the screen, that's where his equipment found a burial. And then we kind of married that information up with their records and created this section of their maps from scratch. So yes, absolutely, there are ways for you to survey the ground and find those burial locations in the first place, especially the areas that you're not really confident if someone's there or not.
Do you also, because once we have a map, do you do cemetery design
Ooh,
because
sure.
for instance, what's the percentage now of cremations versus regular burial? Because the space
Mhm.
needs aren't the same. So, you
Right.
know, we might want to allocate a space that's specifically for cremations.
Sure.
And so we'd have to know how big that space needs to be, what the proper dimensions and things are. Do you do that as well?
Absolutely. Oh, we certainly can. We have done cemetery planning before, and I'm a former Maryland cemetery manager, so I'm always happy to lend my experience as well as the experience of any colleagues that I have in the
Mhm.
area.
Right.
So I will say cremation sections are always a great idea if you're looking to maximize use of your space. And if you have, like for cemeteries that are, we have no more ground burial space, a columbarium is a really great option. St. Mary of the Mills in Laurel, Maryland, was one of the parishes our cemetery oversaw. And they had no more existing ground space, but
Mhm.
they had 4 columbaria, and I think we're in talks to add 2 more because those were filling up. But
Right.
you can, yeah, in a
Yeah.
niche wall. And we can do this in light gold or platinum. Platinum's the only one where we have this kind of, uh, always reminds me of Battleship, the grid here, that will show, where the individual niches in the wall are. But in
Mhm.
Sims Gold, you can still get that list of, columbarium 1, row A, tier B. You can still sort them all out that way and keep your inventory on track. And I will say above ground options are a great way to still serve your community and bring in revenue. If you don't have, ground space for burials.
Right.
There's also an option that she was talking to me about that we can also honor who are veterans.
Mhm. Yeah.
To mark
Yes,
that too.
Yeah. Which would be great.
absolutely. So you see, some of these burial shapes in platinum, we see them in yellow. Those are our veteran burials. So as you gather veteran information, all of these records are also, you can update them in any time. So even an older record where I don't know anything about this person except their name and the year that they were buried, because that's what's on the headstone.
Mhm.
Um, but maybe somebody doing genealogy said, oh, this person is in your cemetery and they were an original, veteran of the Revolutionary War. You can then go back into that person's record and add any new information that you find out about them. Um, we were really bad at All Souls Cemetery in Germantown about keeping our veteran records up to date. We didn't have the staff to go and ask the families every burial we did whether someone was a veteran or not. If they didn't do military honors, we didn't know. But the American Legion would often come around with a list of names and ask where in the cemetery were these people buried. And then we would go through and like review the maps with them, but then they'd come out the Sunday before Memorial Day when our office was closed. So if they had trouble finding someone, they were out of luck. With Sims, if you have burial search, you can show a list of all the veteran burials. So if you keep those burials, then you can have that list there. Or if you don't keep track of your veterans, but the American Legion does, then they can just walk around with their list of names and, find, oh, yep, I'm looking for Lola Siobhan Jackson right over here and walk to each space and place their flags. With Sims Platinum, I can run this report or this search in any version of Sims. But with Sims Platinum, I could then, select all these burials and I could create a work order for the selected. I can do that in light and gold as well. But I can show them on the map where they are in the cemetery. And then, I can walk to each one of these spaces if I'm the one placing the flag. So yeah, that's some of what we can do with our veterans. I wonder, I haven't tried the veteran search in Sims Gold. I don't think I can show them all on the map, but I could, if I wanted to, I could create a work order asking my staff to place these flags. And can I select them all? I can't select them all. Okay, that's a bummer. So I can't issue a work order for all veterans in Sims Gold. That's one thing I can't do. But I could still print out this list and send it to any organization that was placing flags. It'll have the space ID and whatnot. And then if you have that public facing portal, folks can go around. Does that help answer some of those questions?
Mhm.
Awesome.
Anybody-
Anything? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Anybody have anything else?
Yeah. Right.
You act like you've done this before.
I'm a bit of a cemetery nerd.
Part of the question was about the proposal. And the
Sure.
question to accommodate our budget.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's a couple different ways that we could go about it. I'll share my screen again and bring up that proposal real quick. Because I know with everything priced out the way it is, we are about $5,000 over your budget of, was it 30,000, 25,000, was the budget that we have for the cemetery software. And here on, I believe this is our most recent update. I'm bringing that up now, sharing our screen. So here's this. Great. So I think we have, so the first page, it's pretty low cost for the mapping, at least because you're a fairly small cemetery. Your maps are fine, they're decent. We're not anticipating big problems. But it's when we get to the ground penetrating radar that is the big cost. And we can ask Todd if he's able to be flexible on these, but on our end, what we could do is we could take $5,000 off of your total cost by either we could just hold off for the first year and have you repay that 5,000 in the next budget year, or we could up your annual maintenance fee. And this is if we're talking about Sims Platinum. I think if we do Sims Gold or Light, you'll come in under budget. You should be pretty close. But we'd be able to be flexible with the annual maintenance and say, maybe for the first 5 years, we double it or et cetera. So that's where we're able to be flexible. Is that helpful?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Are there any further questions, or is this is a lot of info?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. And I do want to make myself available. Mary has my contact information. So anybody that has questions, please feel free to reach out. I love talking about cemeteries. So I'm always happy to answer any questions you have. Yeah, it's great that I was able to find this job that allows me to work from home while still remaining involved in cemeteries. That was always fun. So
Very much
Yeah.
appreciated, and thank you so much. We have a lot to think about now. And we
Absolutely.
definitely will be getting back with you.
No worries. Thank you so much. Please feel free to reach out at any point with any questions that you have. You know,
Okay.
thanks for having me tonight.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Have a good evening.
Bye.
You too. Take care.
That's a lot.
I'm sold.
I'm not one to join in, but if. I think the end of the day.
Just as long as you're not dying to get in there.
I told you when you heard her talk.
Yeah, but
That's
yeah.
there.
I have never talked to someone that was,
That
Well,
had that much information.
let's see whether she had black fingernail polish. Because she was dressed in black.
I don't think she did.
But I think going forward and everything, and we're gonna talk more about it after we think about all this more,
Yeah.
but definitely the ground penetrating because
gotta know where.
Yeah.
we
to
don't
know.
know where
Yeah.
anything is,
Yeah.
and it's a possibility that there are tombstones under the one that's on the hill,
Yeah.
and I didn't think about that until that was brought to my
The
attention
nice thing about the ground penetrating is,
one time.
I mean, you got,
Yeah.
that's,
But I
Yeah,
that's the first
also-
thing they do when they dig on the
Yeah,
roof down.
I know we have to pay that up front because that is a separate contract,
different reason.
but
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
They're still on.
that the
Right.
option that they're giving us is that we pay it off over
time.
over
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
that 5,000.
Yeah.
That might be,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the fact that we're starting from zero
Mhm.
and they can map where all the pings are and which way everything is, that might be an option.
And it seems like we can go back to them at any time and
Mhm.
they're willing to
I
work
didn't
with us
want to be a
instead of just.
cheapskate and say, what if you start out with the platinum and it's just not, it's too much? And you jump to gold.
She did say that we can jump around,
Change.
change.
Mhm.
Okay.
I do
Because
One thing else is that since we're talking about ground penetrating radar, and that's, I think, our main focus.
Mhm.
On the proposal, the most recent one, it says that there are discounts in place for all three lots. And we'd have to take advantage of them by March 31st.
oh, so
this
there's
year
no
We
time.
can't, we can't do that because we don't have the money at hand, but, well, yeah,
We
yeah,
do.
we do.
Just
Yeah,
have
we
to
do.
say-
Yeah, it's set aside. It's not town budget. It's,
That was money that was given
Yeah.
to the town
PNC.
that,
Yeah.
that was for to
Right.
be used for the cemetery and
Mary,
it's
that
been
was
taken out.
if we did all three lots at the same time,
Well,
obviously.
I think it would mean like signing the contract. Wouldn't have to start it
Yeah.
when we
Mhm.
sign that date, but. So what's listed on
what
here?
would be the discounts? What would that cost?
Yeah, so it totals $3,097.
For all three?
The discounted.
So
No,
Is that the
total.
Cost or is that the distance?
That's
total
the
for the three. It says, so the ground penetrating radar includes core GPR, opens, whatever that is, GPS and SIMS integration and field data free. 21.99 value is secured by, if secured by 3/30/125. Does the same thing for the other lots, except like the other one's 499 and the last one's 399. So
With the
total-
discounted. What's
the
the,
total $3,097.
For all
All
three.
three.
I can move my seat.
We need to do
That's-
it.
That's
in-
nothing.
That's in the price that's listed here. So
We
the,
need to
We
do.
we
So we
need-
sign a contract
We need to
that
sign it
discounts there.
before.
I know we're not gonna
March
vote on it, but
31st.
we need to,
We
we
need
can't,
to,
we
yes,
can't
we
vote
need
on
to,
it.
let's shake hands on
just
it
for
then.
ground penetrating radar, with those numbers before March 31st is 22,897.
22 for all of it?
For all of
Because
it.
that was the discount that she was saying we would get.
I think we do it. Yeah, if we've got the money, let's, yeah.
Because
But
the money is
yeah.
dedicated for that. It
Yeah.
was given to the
Yeah.
town to do it. And I think in the long run,
It has to be done first.
we
Mhm.
have to
Yeah.
do this because
Mhm.
we don't know really, I mean, we kind of know how many lots are over there, but do we? And,
Right, that's
and,
right.
and we need to work
So-
on that.
My question would be though, if we do, and we'd have to do the ground penetrating, survey, does it then have to be attached to at least one of the plans?
What she said, when she was talking today was that we can have them do that and nothing else.
Okay.
We don't have to attach it to anything until we're ready.
But they
But it's
can
not
take
really-
that and build a
So
map
the whole-
for
It's
it.
not really useful
It's
to
not
us
useful for us.
unless it's attached to one of the
Yeah.
plans. And I thought the gold was fine.
And Kathy's putting it on an Excel spreadsheet, but I do like the fact of that we can take pictures of the old cards because people look for that
Well,
stuff.
could the woman that has been doing record retention and scanning and all that, would she be capable of inputting? I mean, does she have those, yeah, that we've been hiring as a part-time person?
Thank
Could
you.
she be able to, because that's what's kind of missing
Then we need a program.
between gold and platinum. And if we had our own person,
But see, but if we're doing the ground penetrating, they can take that and map it where it is.
Right,
So
right?
that's not in the gold, that is in the platinum. So that's
Oh,
the
okay,
difference.
Yeah, okay.
And since we might be askew all different in a way.
What's the charge for between the two? What's the difference between the gold and the platinum?
What's the yearly price?
Oh,
And then there's,
so gold is 3,300 a year, plus 500 a year for, what would you call that?
Oh,
Like the
maintenance.
Annual maintenance, yeah. Platinum is 7,500 a year with 1,000 a year.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
quite a-
it's quite a
quite a
hop. I
jump.
mean, you saw like there's
Yeah.
a lot of.
What
different-
happens if you started out at platinum and then you,
and then is there a way to hold that information? And we have all that.
I don't
And then
know.
we migrate to gold. Because it may not be, the juice might not be worth the squeeze on the platinum
My
initially.
understanding is that it's all the same data. It's just how you're displaying it.
Correct.
But if you go for the gold and we pay the one time for somebody to take it, even if we pay them for 6 months or whatever it takes to do what platinum will do,
Yes.
then we're saving $3,000 a year
Right.
after that.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
we're also saving, because they input everything.
What would it cost
and
for her
that-
to do it,
And it would be,
taking it away from
Yeah.
the duties she was doing already.
yes, so that's the other thing.
Mhm.
So you have to weigh the wages
Right.
also. It's not just.
Right, there's a cost associated on the town end if we did our own input.
Right.
Yes.
It may
yeah,
not
there
be
is.
quite as good, but
Probably wouldn't be as much, but yeah.
this is what they do.
But then after they get it, in my mind, after the town gets it in there, then we have it, and then we don't have to pay the 75 plus 1,000 when we pay the 33 plus 500.
Well, remember she said that you can take the time to put your data in and then say you want to initiate the search, the other fields, like go public with your
Yeah, that's-
information.
We wouldn't be going public for a little bit. but-
Right.
yeah.
So I mean, we're still saving money that way too,
Mhm.
depending on how that timeline works. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be. It's a
It's
tough one.
basically double over. the
How
total.
long do we want it to
year.
be? But how long do we want it to take? Do we care how long
What would
it
it
takes?
matter then?
We
depending on how long
definitely-
it
I
takes
will
for them
tell
to
you-
Input it.
I will tell you, light is out because of the
Mhm.
fact it's not
Yeah.
user friendly
Yeah.
and we want it to be able for genealogists
Yeah.
to look things up. And
Mhm.
we just had one, this past fall that, the gentleman found out he had a twin sister at birth that died and knew that the person was over here, but it was like they were just finding out now and he's getting ready to pass away. So I went out there and kind of looked to see what was going on, found it, sent it, and
Mhm.
they did bring him over here. But
Oh.
that would be somebody that's going here and talking to Mary. They got their information from Patterson's. So it's something to reach out to Patterson's, Ford's, and Crouch's, that we possibly ask for burial records for the
Right.
town of Charlestown,
Mhm.
because that might be other records that we don't
Fill in the
have.
gap.
Well, in platinum, do they do some of that search?
I think we still have to provide it all
We
to
have,
them.
that would be
Mhm.
something we provide. And even after they initially do it, it's information that it's always working
You can
in
add
there.
to.
Keep changing it.
Is there an urgency to it that we need to, like, is there a reason we need to be faster rather than?
Well, there's a
For the
deadline,
discount.
discount.
I mean,
March
aside
31st.
from that, I meant like from a.
I don't think so. I mean, the first thing
I
we have
just
to
got
do
a
is we need-
diagnosis and
Running out of time, that's where I'm going with it. You need your reservation made.
What is our next step with this particular situation?
So we have, let me figure this out. I want to get something straight in my head before we go there.
Mm.
if we sign the contract by the 31st, it's 22,000 for everything. 22,000
$22,897.
for everything.
No, that's for just the ground penetrating radar. Everything would be
That's what,
30,397.
that's what we were asking. And you said it was $3,000.
So that was the discount.
But that's what,
We're going through a lot of numbers.
Okay.
What was the question again?
when we were talking, I said, that's the total amount. And you said, yes, it's $3,000.
Is that the
That's
total
why.
amount discount?
Yes.
3,097 is the discount.
Okay, that's what we were all
We were
thinking
thinking that was the.
cost.
No,
No.
no.
You can-
I'll send this to you
Because
again.
when it was on the
so you
screen,
have this, so you can look over.
So,
You were a little
But-
further.
but they're saying
We're on a
that
time crunch.
if we do this, they're saying we can float the other 5,000.
Yes, over a couple, like 3, 4, up to 5 years.
Yeah. On layaway.
Yeah,
Plan.
right.
We did kind of
Pandemic.
talk through different options over the phone, however we wanted to space it out.
Mhm.
So we're over the total package to get the radar and the mapping
Yes.
is over $5,000. But what she's saying is she can take 5,000 on their end, not the ground penetrating, because that's a different contract rate.
Mhm.
That we could possibly do that over 5 years.
Mhm.
But we're still spending money we don't have,
Correct.
because if we spend the 25, then we don't have the money to go forward with.
Mhm.
Well,
But we don't have to do all of them at once either, she said.
Well, I thought the ground to do that, to get that discount, you had to do all 3 of them.
I'll certainly ask if there's,
Because he's
But
gonna be in
well,
we
town.
can extend it.
why don't you want to do the ground penetrating right now and sign that for that? Or is this discount for the whole package?
No, that's just for ground penetrating radar.
That's the initial
That's
thing that
the-
has
that's
to happen.
Thing we need to have
That's the thing
first.
we
That's the
need.
first step,
We
regardless of
can
what we
do,
do.
do you want to do the first step and get that started? Because that's going to take a while.
There was another company or proposal that came in. We're not even anticipating them, right? Wasn't there two different companies?
Yeah, so that one, I remember, that was through GIS. This way, let me bring it up.
But they didn't offer something.
We
There was
dismissed
some-
it
there was
really
some-
fast. I don't remember it either.
Penetrating
Oh,
radar.
well, that's why.
But it was, I mean, overall kind of the same thing, and there was a discount because it was going through, insurance or something with the college.
Oh.
But
But
the
we,
ground-
we
need the
used
ground
heads.
because we don't know what's.
I mean, her one
Exactly.
thing that she said on there when they went and did that other one, that they didn't even know that people had
Mhm.
used this
And
area.
I think
Exactly.
I think that's this
Ooh.
and
Right.
the slave cemetery. I think both of them.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Those-
Because it was Marvin.
Why would
Yes.
you bury a goat?
Why would you?
Stakes, so you can stick it out.
I don't.
Why they-
It
It's
doesn't
hard to
matter.
say
They
what's
bury
in the
horses.
ground.
What?
Really big holes.
Yeah.
Keep it all in one way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Most of the time they burn them.
See,
You leave it
Um,
before something.
so-
Buries his.
it's being it toward.
Do we want to go forward with the ground? One second,
Oh.
one second. Do you want to go through with the ground penetrating?
Yeah, I think it's needed.
Right up both sides.
And it's seen in paper. So it's listed right here for all 3 of these. So I just added those 3 numbers up.
These 3. So this is,
Well, no, this is like for light, gold, platinum. I just added the
And
21.
platinum is $7,500 a year.
Plus
$1,000
$1,000 for
the-
maintenance.
So-
But you only
so it's
pay,
85.
no, you only pay 7,500
the
once,
$7,500
but then you pay
include the 1 year.
the
And then
1,000
it's
after.
1,000 every year after that.
Yeah, and gold is how much?
the,
per year?
the
30.
platinum, it says for, burial search public portal, okay? That's where that extra money is, the
Mhm.
500.
An add-on.
Okay, it's an add-on,
Hmm.
okay? So, altogether, I don't like the
All
way
the,
this thing
yeah,
is.
all the things are 3 pages worth of.
Okay,
The computers.
Just so you see.
for 7,500 is the platinum, and that gives us the one-time license, okay? There is additional cemetery fees. There is a setup fee for 2.25 total developed acres. That's not applicable. And the interactive map is 3,000. The hosting site and system allows one Sims user at a time and includes unlimited technical things. That's where that $1,000 a year is. So it's not $7,500 a year.
For one time.
It's a one-time thing of $7,500, and then it's $1,000 a year.
Well, how much is gold then?
Gold,
300
$3,300 one time
3,300.
one time.
with a $500 thing.
22 and 33 is 25.5 roughly. What would be the additional? What would,
So it's
if we
not-
only have 25 to spend, what would be the additional?
Oh, so if we did
22.
all three ground
and three,
penetrating radar
yes.
plus platinum, one-time charge, 7,500, it's 30,397.
Well, I don't want to do platinum. I want to do gold.
Gold.
What does gold cost? Flat rate with our discounts. And she said she thought they could work with the
197.
ground penetrating radar to get it down. 26.
197.
Could
Mhm,
we,
51,000.
we're working on the budget. And you all are going to get a piece of paper tonight
I'm gonna
to
get paper.
add input to the budget before we do the final run, which we're gonna do next week. In 2 weeks will be to be ready for the 16th.
Mhm.
You know, we're still moving numbers around. And I can explain when we get the paper just roughly where we are, but you know, maybe maybe we can find Julie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it conceivable that we could find $1,700?
When you see the budget, you're gonna see
See
a
how
great
it's
big
chuckled
no.
Question.
The 1,700, well, I don't know. We got a lot of tweaking to do on this
Yeah, I
budget, so
know.
I'm anxious for
That's why
everybody
I just prefaced it with that.
yeah.
Soften the blow.
We're asking, and I know you're listening, is this contract is, it's time sensitive to get the discount. So
Yeah.
that's why we're wondering, can we find the 1,700?
How much?
Maybe.
How much?
Because actually, if we're doing it, it would be in this budget,
Yeah. But we don't have enough.
not the new one.
Right, it would be
Okay.
we'd be
Well, I
spending
haven't
money.
even analyzed this budget yet,
So
so
the 2,500 is the cemetery one. So we just need to find $1,700.
a year, right?
No,
No,
one
Oh,
time.
just one? Oh, one time? Okay.
Yes.
We might be able to get that out of this budget, the 25 budget, so I'll work on that this week. But 26 is kind of brutal, so
The 25 is the cemetery money that we were talking about.
yes, in the investment, the donation,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's
Got
allocated.
it.
It's allocated. So
Yeah,
we're just
Yep.
looking
it's
for,
restricted. Yeah, it's restricted to
So,
cemetery, so
I know we can't vote on it really, technically,
Right.
but if we can find the 1,700, should we say?
I'll donate my pay.
Just donate your pay? From
Yeah,
here,
I'll
from here.
too.
A double,
Will you generous?
double our pay. All right. All right. So you can look for that and we'll sign, I'll sign it if we find it. How's that? And then we can officially vote for it at the next meeting. Okay. I'm sorry, Kim.
Yes, we're here now, and Sasha's here as well. So thank you.
Hi, Sasha.
We didn't charge you for educating you on cemeteries.
Thank you. Free lesson. Appreciate it. I know so much now. No, you're right. She was very, very passionate. I mean, I've never, who knew that was even a job out there? So learned something.
Good
job. How you guys doing? And you're here to talk to us about community solar.
That's correct. Yeah, we're doing great. Yeah, thank you so much for having us. We'll keep it brief. So you don't need to sit through another 45-minute presentation. It should be 6, 7, 8 minutes for a few slides here. And feel free to interrupt me at any time. Or we can do questions at the end, whatever you prefer.
Okay.
But
Well, is your presentation going to start off with you telling us who you are and is that the beginning of the presentation? Then let's start. Yeah, because I was going to ask if it's not, tell us who you are.
Yes, of course. 1 second. Let me see if I can share my screen.
And just a bit of a background, we were doing a bit of traveling and had some meetings in your area. So we have previously met briefly with Mary and then Brian at the time. So thank you for having us on to meet all of you guys.
Okay, perfect. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So my name is Sasha Lukovenko. I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing with Solar Simplified. And my colleague Kim Dana, she's our Community Relations Manager. And today I want to talk a little bit about our Community Solar Municipality Program. And just to start off, is community solar a new concept for you guys? Are you vaguely familiar with what it is?
No, nothing.
Nothing. Okay, fantastic. Starting from scratch. Because, sometimes when we talk to municipalities, some are very well versed on what it is and some aren't at all. So, which is totally fine. So, okay. All right. So we'll talk about what community solar is, what the general benefits are for your constituents and for the municipality directly. We'll talk about who we are, a couple of case studies of our work with municipalities. We've been offering this municipality program in 5 states now for about 5-6 years, quite successfully. So we'll share a couple of case studies there. And then we'll share some next steps about how we would proceed if you decide that this is right for you and your community. And then we'll open up to questions. So what's community solar? Community solar is a state-run guaranteed savings program, which allows homeowners, renters, businesses to enjoy the benefits of solar power without installing solar panels on their property. So there's a few key items here. So obviously, if people are interested in solar, they can put panels on their roof. However, the vast majority of the population, we estimate around 85% of all U.S. households, can neither own nor lease rooftop solar for a number of reasons. Whether they rent, whether they live in an apartment or a condo, whether they don't have the funds to purchase a system or lease a rooftop system. So, and that's what that's the population that community solar addresses and allows them to participate in renewable energy and benefit from solar energy by simply subscribing to community solar and reaping the benefits. And like I mentioned, renters and homeowners and businesses can all participate. Similarly, the municipality can participate as well as a customer. So in practical terms, how does community solar work? So I'm sure you've seen, solar arrays, so-called solar farms, in various places, along the side of the road or wherever. So that's the type of solar projects that we're talking about. We have a portfolio of solar projects coming online towards the end of this year and into next year within the Delmarva Power and Light Company utility territory. Those projects will produce energy and will pump that energy into the utility grid. Like I mentioned, the Delmarva Power utility grid, and then the participants in our program will see the energy that is produced on their behalf as solar credits directly on the utility bill. And they will basically from the customer's perspective, nothing really will change other than a couple of new light items on their utility bill that they're already receiving. It will say how much energy was produced on their behalf in that given month, how much that energy is worth, and the discount that is displayed as a negative dollar amount, meaning reducing their energy bill by that amount. So far, so good?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. So what are the benefits of participating for community solar customers? Obviously the guaranteed discounts on all solar credits that are produced on their behalf. The discount that we're offering currently, the highest in the utility territory, is 10% for all participating customers. On top of that, for qualified low and moderate income households, it may increase to 15 to 20% on all applied solar credits. There's no participation fees. There's no cancellation fees. There's no fees of any kind. It's basically, you choose to participate, you enroll in the program, you start seeing the credits and the discounts. Simple as that. There's no long-term commitments, so you can cancel at any time. It's a month-to-month agreement, and you can participate for the lifetime of the project, which is 25 to 30 years. Obviously, there's no installation required. It's simply essentially virtual participation in the program. All participants receive priority registration to a solar array within the utility territory. We have 10 projects coming online, so obviously you would be allocated to one of those. In general, you're now participating in some renewable energy, thus reducing the overall carbon footprint and advancing renewable energy in the state and support clean environments for the community and so on and so forth. So that's the benefits for the customers. For the municipality specifically, obviously this is a benefit that you can now offer to your constituents. At the same time, like I mentioned, municipality can be a customer as well. So all municipal utility accounts that you'd like to enroll, you can enroll and receive the same benefits as any other customer. Support the state's carbon neutrality goals, and also there's a direct financial incentive for municipalities that participate, $50 per every enrollment within the municipality. So if there's 100 enrollments within Charlestown, that's a $5,000 check to you guys, and you can spend that on your cemetery project, for example, or throw a pizza party for the town, or whatever you guys decide on. There's no guidelines there. Can be spent at will. So yeah, so that's the program. And like I mentioned, we've been running this for over 5 years now. Lancaster was our very first municipality in New York. But I think the more applicable example is Richmond on the right there, because of population size kind of can be that's kind of the results that one can anticipate. So there, 3,300 population of 3,300. The municipality chose to enroll all of their municipal accounts. They're saving about $1,000 annually just by participating. We've generated over $75,000 in savings for the participants within the municipality. The municipality received $13,000, over $13,000 in civic contributions, and they have over 300 enrolled accounts there. And roughly average annual savings per customer is about $100 that we're seeing there. And obviously
Is that $100 a year?
$100 a year, correct.
Okay.
Correct. And I mean, obviously that varies by, by customers' usage and dwelling size and things like that. So, it can vary quite drastically. But that's the average size, average annual savings that we're seeing. So that's kind of a practical example there, and we worked with municipalities from small hamlets and villages to large cities like Niagara Falls, for example. We just signed an agreement with Buffalo, which we're really excited about. That's our largest municipality to date. So this is a reference. It's just a nice quote that we received from Lancaster. Again, that was our very first municipalities that joined the program, and Ron Ruffino was a great supporter. And then at the end of his term, he shared this quote with us, which was very nice and appreciated. One of my greatest accomplishments during my time as supervisor was partnering with you in Solar Simplified. Not only was it an environmental achievement, it also saved the town along with many of the residents money by earning credits. So yeah, just a sweet note from him. And then a little bit about Solar Simplified and how we operate. We really focus on accessibility, transparency, and mainstream adoption by focusing on consumer education and working with local municipalities like yourself, because frankly, people don't know about community solar. This is a government initiative. Every state has a variation of this program, and it's a guaranteed savings program with a focus on low and moderate income households, and people just don't know about it. This is and that's why we like this approach of working directly with municipalities, collaborative kind of initiative, and educating the consumers about the benefits and giving them the opportunity to participate. Just in the box there on the bottom, just a few kind of advantages that we have over other companies, in our opinion. We have immediate capacity, like I mentioned, the portfolio of projects in Delmarva, Power and Light, utility territory, 10 projects coming online towards the end of this year. So now is a great time to kind of start rolling this out. We have a track record of success, dozens of successful municipalities, municipal campaigns across New York, Illinois, newly New Jersey, Massachusetts, and now Maryland. And we focus on relationships and pride ourselves on kind of the success that we've built over the years. Our example in Lancaster is a great example of that. And lastly, kind of next steps. If you guys do think that this is a good program for you and your community, you would approve the program. We would sign an agreement between the town and Solar Simplified, and then we would get started on an educational campaign. And that can entail kind of a variety of ways to share this information with your residents, whether it's a mailer, whether it's in-person information sessions or webinars or whatever else. We've done a variety of different things, just depending on what you think is the right approach. And then residents and local businesses that choose to participate, enroll, and start seeing savings directly on their utility bills, and the municipality receive the civic contributions that we mentioned before. So that's the presentation.
I have two questions.
Please.
Okay.
Of course.
While you were talking, where exactly in the Delmarva area are the projects?
So the first two projects coming online in November. One is in Pocomoke and the other one is in Salisbury. That's the first two. And the additional 8 we have, the information is not public yet, so I can share that at a later time. But that's the first 2 projects that we can discuss today.
Perfect. Next week, John.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing is the savings. Is that for the entire bill, or is only what does that include?
So the way it's allocated, we basically look at the customer's usage for the last 12 months, and we allocate based on that to try and match the full bill of the customer.
So that's not including the high delivery that we have.
We try to match the full bill. So it's the delivery, the supply, the fees, whatever else is on there. So we try to match the entire bill of the customer.
So Sasha,
What does that mean?
Because we now have a usage And we have 2 delivery fees now
that,
on our
that
bill.
exceed the amount of the usage.
Yes, like a lot.
So, so the way you would want to think of this is like this is like an add-on to your utility bill, just an add-on discount on top of your utility bill. So we try to match the full bill with the solar credits. So basically, your energy usage is offset by the energy that's produced at the solar project that you're allocated to.
Use some fictitious numbers.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and to
So
clarify,
Fictitious numbers.
if I can
please.
say, because when you say you try to match the full bill, that
Mhm.
confuses me when on average in your examples, people are saving $10 a month. If it's $100 a year.
So the discount is 10%, right? That's the discount that I mentioned for the solar credits that we're able to generate. So if you're again an example, if your bill is $100 and we're able to generate $100 worth of credits, then you will receive a 10% discount, which is $10 in this specific example. And basically, you'll just see at the bottom will be $90 instead of the $100 that you owed previously without the community solar add-on.
I'm gonna tell you, our bills jumped sky high because of the rates that Delmarva is now paying or asking us to pay them. So I'm telling
That's-
you that I'm using my bill as an example. My one
Yep.
bill was $780 and it jumped $450 for that month out of the blue because they did that. So how is that going to affect us? That's what we're trying to ask.
So
And
if you
Delmarva, and it's not just Delmarva, it's like all of the electric companies here. In fact, it's becoming a state issue now. So how is that going to affect?
So are you saying your monthly bill is over $700?
Yes, that's
Wow,
what
that
we're
is-
telling you.
What happened
That's-
was the
Yep.
amount of power generated in Maryland is not sufficient to provide Maryland. Therefore, they've been bringing it in from Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia. So the distribution costs have exceeded the utility cost of what you're actually using. So what
Oh,
was
wow.
happening is people were using $150, $200 with electricity, but getting $400 to $500 just in distribution.
Yes.
So they went from $250, $300 a month to $700, $800 a month in a
Exactly.
very short period of time.
Got it. Well, basically we would take your last 12 months of bills and assign based on that average value. So, so if it started out as
yeah, and this just took effect in January. So that would not be correct for what our bills are doing.
They did me in December.
Next year.
And it's gonna be worse.
Got it. Yeah, we do what we call a recalibration every 3 to 6 months. So it will get adjusted kind of as we go. So if your bills did jump, like it sounds like they doubled or more than doubled, then in 3 to 6 months it would get adjusted to like the higher number. But basically, yes, if your bill is 700, then we'll try to match. Then we'll try to allocate $700 worth of credits, and then your discount will be 10% off that.
Well, so what we're explaining is it's the delivery fee, not the
Yep.
usage that's the problem.
We
when
look
you're-
at the total bill. We look at the total bill, not the breakdown by what the supply is, what the delivery is. We just look at the total bill that you're paying every month.
Right. So if I'm using 100, yes, thank you, kilowatts, and I'm being charged as if I'm using 300 kilowatts because the delivery fees, you're going to match to 100 kilowatts and not 300 kilowatts. Is that correct? Because you're going off of
Right.
how much I use. So
Right.
the
Not
actual
the delivery.
answer is that we'll still get a $10 credit or 10% of whatever, which is the aim, but that's still not going to take away the pain of the delivery fee because you're going off of the usage.
Which is two different things.
No, I understand what you're saying, and we could look at some specific examples. For example, if you guys want to send us some account numbers that the municipality is paying, for example, we could use those as examples and look at what the allocation would be for those, and we can look at concrete examples. But basically, usually we try to match the full bill. So this is a little bit out of the norm scenario. Like this is the first time I've encountered this where the delivery is a multiple of what the supply
There's
charges. But
actually now, we have 2 delivery fees. And this is
Mhm.
across our entire state, not just Delmarva. This is BGE and everybody.
Mhm.
So now they do from this amount to this kilowatt is this delivery fee.
Mhm.
And then nobody only uses that. And then
Got
there's
it.
this. So, but I'm still not getting the fact of, I'm still hearing that it's only the usage, not this high delivery.
So so again, we can't do anything about the new delivery charges or whatever. We allocate based on, we look at your bill history for the last 12 months and we allocate based on that, based on the total bill. And then we
Which would
recalibrate it
include
every 3 to
distribution,
6 months.
which
So
includes
basically we do the best we can to match the full bill. That's the usual setup.
Actually, and this just doesn't make sense to me, because if you have a big solar field somewhere and you're plugging into Delmarva, aren't
Mhm.
they distributing your power also? And won't that just create another distribution fee? Because they're
No.
getting power from another source. They're adding the distribution fees based on where they're getting the power from. And if they're getting it from you, you're just another supplier.
No. So that's a different structure. So you're not so community solar is not another supplier. This is just an add-on service, so to say. Like you wouldn't be like, participants do not switch suppliers when they choose to participate in community solar. This is just an add-on discount, if you will, for participating in renewable energy.
Okay, now let me ask the solar question.
Mhm.
Because you could put on the brightest, sunniest day of the year, you can put out 100% of solar power
Mhm.
during April, May, June, when we have June gloom, when we have, you're not going to be producing the same amount of energy. So would the fee that gets paid to the customer, to us,
Mhm.
that would fluctuate based on how much power you can produce at any given time. Is that correct?
You're correct. You're correct. There's obviously some fluctuation in the production since, like wintertime, for example, shorter days, less sun.
Right. Yes.
In the summertime, longer days, more sun.
Okay.
That's a natural fluctuation for solar energy, regardless of whether it's rooftop solar or solar arrays and community solar. That's correct. There's some fluctuation
let me
aspect
ask
to it. Yep.
then, if, let's just by chance, and this is what's happened in Maryland, you have more draw off of the grid than you're producing, and you're saying the savings is 10%. Is that a static
Mhm.
number that stays that regardless
Yeah.
of what you produce? Because right now you said you have
Sure.
2 solar farms going on with 8 more coming in, which
Correct.
obviously is going to increase your capacity. But
Correct.
let's say we did really good here in Charlestown and every single person
Yep.
signed up on this, but we're
Would be
drawing
wonderful.
more than you're producing. What happens?
So yeah, correct. So obviously, we're limited by only the capacity that we have available. If everybody signed up, that would be great. But we could. How many households are in Charlestown?
750.
Yeah.
750.
So between the 10 projects, we expect capacity about 7,000 average size households. So we could cover the entirety of the municipality in this specific example. But yeah, so the 10% does not fluctuate ever. It's that's the number that was registered with the state before the project was even approved, and it would be illegal for us to fluctuate that number. So so that number does not fluctuate.
So you're an independent company, but you're in affiliation with the state of Maryland? You're
Correct.
working under the auspices of the state?
We are registered community solar provider with the Department of Public Services.
Okay.
I think my question is, sorry, you might have the same question, I don't know. We've heard what would benefit customers, but how does the town participate? Because to my understanding, there's a contract, and I wasn't quite sure how that worked?
Yep, that's a very good question. So the contract that I mentioned is a marketing services agreement that we would sign to kind of to make our engagement official. And then beyond that, we would work with you on advertising this offer to the residents. And again, that could entail whatever an information session, webinar, mailer, sponsoring some local events, tabling at a local event. So like whatever you think would be a good way to present this information to your residents.
Are
So
there
just
are there minimum benchmarks that are required within that contract?
No, the contract is just making the engagement official. And again, there's obviously no cost for the municipality. There's actually, a financial benefit for the municipality that I mentioned in the form of city contributions. Depending on how many people enroll, it's a $50 per enrollment one-time incentive.
What's your threshold for no interest? Because I mean, we're updating systems and stuff so we can more efficiently bill our water bills and things like that, and that's putting things online. We're a small town with lots of older residents, and there's a lot of people that don't want to participate in that. So those same people are not necessarily going to want to participate in this. So if we could only produce 100 people, is that below your threshold where you can't make any money? Or where's your cutoff point?
It doesn't really matter. This is, obviously we want as many people to participate as possible, but yeah, we don't have any minimum thresholds. And we have, at this point we've ran these campaigns many times, and generally more people are interested than you would think.
Okay.
Like, for example, like the example of Richmond that I mentioned earlier, in the town of total 3,300 population, not households, but total population, we have over 300 enrollments there, over 300 households enrolled, which is substantial. I think they had about 1,200, 12 or 1,300 households, and 300 out of those enrolled. So
what if
that's a substantial
somebody
participation
already
rate.
had solar, or they currently have something other than
if
like
somebody
they're already
has
in some program?
If somebody has rooftop solar, then they would be excluded from this program, unfortunately. Then they're already participating in solar. Then they're doing great. This is mostly geared for people that don't already participate in solar.
This is a way for someone to get in on it, but not actually have to do basically anything for it.
Correct.
I mean, I'm hearing only upsides on the consumer end, or even if, let's say, we decided for our town, for just our office in here, we wanted to do that. We benefit from that.
Correct.
I mean, absolutely no cost.
It's really simple as that. Yeah, it's really as simple as that.
Firehouse.
Yes, they are. Okay.
So,
Okay, is there
anything
any
else I
other
can
questions?
elaborate on at this time?
I'm good.
A lot of information, and we will get back to you.
All right, sounds great. Yeah, you guys sat through a couple of presentations today. Thank you so much for your time.
All right.
And yeah, I'm
Thank
sure
you.
some more questions will pop up, and we'll be happy to follow up on that. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good evening.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Ken, did you want to talk about the bathroom over at Veterans Park?
Sure. I do have a picture of the rough end if you want to see it. See that? You can share it.
It passed inspection, so I said,
Oh.
Yeah. So just to
Water
let
came in.
That's what
they
the
tore
new
all
sewer
the stuff
hookup.
out. The new
Yeah.
sewer
Yeah,
hookup
great.
is in.
Water came in.
The rough end was inspected by the county. It's all good to go. According to Bobby, the bathroom will be back in service, should be by Friday.
Excellent. Good.
It wasn't open yet though, right? Because it's still winterized.
It was still winterized.
Right. Okay. So
I mean, they've been doing a lot. They hung new for the showers that are in there. They hung new dispensers for all of that, new paper towel holders. getting the water up and running for the lateral connection instead of having the sewer station that's there. So yeah, by Friday, that should be.
That was something else I wanted to ask, and I didn't ask you yesterday, and I apologize. The bathhouse that's over on Sea Dock,
Yes.
is that hooked to our town water?
I don't have that answer. I'll have to ask Bobby. He would know.
And is it sewer pump out or is it connected to our sewer?
I think it probably is. I'll have to go down and talk to Bobby. He's the expert on it. He just put everything back in service on that and locked up the trailers with new locks and keys. So nobody would have access to it unless they had a key to it.
Okay,
Yeah, it would have had to been winterized also.
Yeah.
right.
So he
But
just,
I didn't know if it has town water going to it and if it's hooked to the sewer, or is it, we have to have one of the ones that do our porta potties have to empty it. That's what I'm
I
asking.
think it's set up just like maybe the campground is with a camp where it has the
Little
flush out. Yeah.
flush down. Okay. If you could find that out for sure. Okay. Permitting and resident inquiry tracking options you guys wanted to talk about. I know that I was talking like a year or so ago, 2 years ago, about Hartford counties, they call it Track It. And everything's online. In fact, if you get on a list, it's like an email, automatic generated email that talks about the permits that are coming up and all that. So what did you guys find out?
All right, so we did demos for GoGov, which is our current town app provider. And we also did with High Fives, which is our current, I don't know what you call them, website developer. They help us maintain it. So GoGov, the option for that would integrate into our current app, so we wouldn't change anything. Residents would be able to spin through the app or through our website, and it would involve using GIS. They can upload pictures, they can get status reports, like they'd be able to go in, see that it was submitted. That's for permitting and for resident inquiries, like the reporting things. All of it would be the same sort of thing. They can message between the town and like we can message them and everything. They can pay online, although the only con to that is that it would be a completely separate system than what we currently use, and it would be a higher fee. So I don't really want a higher fee.
I know.
But they'd be able to track their progress, and for permitting specifically, it would tell residents exactly what they need before they're even brought to like pay online, or it goes through a checklist. It would automatically assign, depending on what they submit, whether it's a permit or reporting, it would go to a specific employee, however we set it up. And we would be able to do very thorough reports for accounting and all of that. High Fives is very similar, although it would use our current reporting forms that we have on our website and any PDFs that we have for like our permits and sorry, I'm trying to think, like permits for the parks, anything like that. They would make them fillable and submittable, be right on the website or through our app, which is it's a click away on the app. We would get notifications when it's submitted. We can assign and we can track them. It's not something that residents would be able to look at, track, anything like that. But it's basically the difference between GoGov, High Fives is the resident aspect of it. And GoGov is pretty, and High Fives is just a basic user interface for us that we would be able to pull all of what residents currently submit into one database. We'd be able to create reports that would be very similar to what GoGov could offer, say where we are doing all of our work.
Yes, you.
This
Thank you.
for building permits, cutting down trees,
Permit and
driveways.
And park permits. too.
Okay. Any permit.
Permitting,
Is it
yeah.
fully interactive? So in other words, can people at home, can you get the building permit form on your computer and fill it out on the computer and then send it in? So you don't have to come here and fill out something. Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
GoGov,
Oh, great.
GoGov, it's more like a platform. So you fill out all of the information and I don't remember, does it create a form per se? Because it's
Yeah.
really just a list of things.
It
like a
creates a
ticket?
form on our side. So like the forward facing is like their data entry side of it. And then
Yeah.
on our side, it would show what this person's applying for. And
Right.
then I would, or whomever is approving it would go in and
But do they see it? The actual
Once-
They
person?
would see that.
they see what they're applying for. They send it to us. We would get it, once we filled out with GoGov, they would get notification that says, okay, whatever you applied for is ready for your review.
Mhm.
Whether it's completed and they can take it to the county
Mm.
or they,
Or you have
it's,
questions?
or I have questions and they need to call me or contact me and answer the questions.
That'll work out. Seems like it would be better that way if the homeowners have odd work schedules, they can do that and
Yeah,
still get
right. They
something
don't have to be
in.
here.
Right,
physically.
and then they don't get frustrated
Yes.
and take it out on staff.
Now, the other thing is, you said it costs more and it's not integrated with our accounting system.
The Go.
So, yes, go. So, how much more would that be for the residents?
So
What's the,
permitting and the resident request, citizen request, sorry, management, they're two separate. So let me get that. The permitting would be $62.40 a year. And the citizen request would be $4,800. With,
but I mean, what would it be
For them?
for
actual-
the actual resident?
Whatever the credit card fee would be.
oh, I'm sorry, let me find that.
If somebody applies for a minor permit.
Because they said it would be a price for credit cards, but it'll also be a price for like e-check. I don't know if they included that in here.
So this GoGov is gonna cost
How
the
many
town
permits do we get a
$4,800 a year?
No,
I did
it's only-
108 last year.
Wow.
it's 3%
So
convenience fee.
6%?
3.
3%.
So it says convenience fees, for GoGov products that manage credit card processing, GoGov will add a convenience fee of $3 plus 3% per transaction to offset the cost of
6%.
online processing. Quite a bit.
So if it's $50, it's $53 plus 3% on that's another $1.55. So 54, 55 would be the
Mhm.
price of a permit.
And what
or
are they
$50
going?
permit.
Oh, yeah.
So if we did permitting and the citizen's request, it's $11,040 a year.
Yearly.
well, but how much
1,100
do
or
we bring
11,000?
in permit fees? We only, if we only did 108 permits,
That's not, they're not all,
$5,000.
they're not all $50 fees.
right?
Right.
Kind of basically pay the
Yeah.
price for
You can't find
it being
1,700.
free, but also like keep in mind, so we currently use GoGov and it goes up 7% every year.
If we
So-
don't change even what we're
They-
They
using.
charge extra 7% every year. They, in their contract, they're allowed to up it.
We
And they have
we
been.
currently use GoGov. for-
That's our app.
You can
Oh, okay.
utilize the HI5.
We do,
High
because
five.
it's not really changing what we do, but it's allowing us to track everything.
Basic. And
And I mean, we don't have the volume in the sense that I think would suffice for paying $11,000 a year.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
1%.
So
Yeah.
our volume's not changing, and if anything, it has gone down because Cool Springs is now complete.
Mhm.
Yes, we will have more with Scott Gardens, but it's gonna allow us to provide all of the reports that we've been wanting to do, all of the tracking.
And how much is high five?
So you're waiting for a price
6,500?
for high five.
Flat.
And that it is parks and permits.
And that one is
And it's
integrated with our payment
customizable.
system.
And is there a yearly fee?
It's only what we pay them for like our website and everything currently, which I think is like.
So we already,
800?
whatever we already have, this is just a one-time fee to add to it.
they have built the
Yeah.
platform.
Exactly. I think for them, like hosting or something like around 400. I'll have to find that, but something like that. It wouldn't change that. This is just for them to do this.
GoGov is costing us $6,000 a year.
Well,
Now.
GoGov right now is going to be up to 40 something hundred, 4,100 or
A
something.
year. That's way better than
Not
11,000.
counting the permits.
I don't see us paying
Got
an
it.
additional
Then
11,000
add
a
it
year.
I
together.
don't want to use it.
Yeah, I know that,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
then.
saying. I don't want to, I,
I mean, I'm reading her email and see H5
Yeah.
does,
Yes.
we're not getting all
It's
the
fully
fancy.
customizable. So they've given us this platform. We can share the stuff with you as well. It's very basic right now though, but they've worked with Elkton to long time ago. And they still work with Elkton to implement permitting like platform for them. It's a behind the scenes thing. Residents can still submit and everything, but it's very intense. There's a lot there, a lot of data that they can allow. And they can make it to where when we have our PDFs of our permits on our website, it's fully fillable and just submits right into the database, which is not what we currently have right now. You can get the PDFs
You have
and
to transfer stuff over.
they have to print it or email it to us or something, if they filled it out. But it's customizable, exactly what we want in there, whether it's resident reporting or permitting. It's exactly what we need it to be, how we need our reports to come out, all of that.
But would either of these be linked to the county building department?
No,
Oh, well,
the county has their own thing and they won't let us in.
they won't, okay.
That's a cyber thing.
There's no interactivity between,
Benefit to either one of them beside the price point. So right now, the way the process goes for me is somebody brings a permit in, paper. I work it up, I do my thing. Approve, disapprove, I scan it in a folder. Come over here to my computer and transfer it to another folder. Then take that piece of paper, once I verify everything is done, and file 13 in. And so with either one of these new platforms,
It
it
just
builds
starts
its own
in the computer.
database, it stores it in the database automatically, so it takes a paper product right out of my
And
hands
it takes a step away.
and takes a step away. And like it actually, both of them give a place to pay for your permits. So then that also takes away a step for us to have to go in here and do our thing with invoices and permit payments and everything else. So if you talk about simplifying the life of the people in town, like that takes away, and it simplifies a lot of things that we currently do. So
This is good, but we were just talking about the older residents that don't want to do that. They can still come in with the paper.
I can still do that. I mean,
Okay.
There's no reason why.
Need
we
to
can't.
still do paper. I know most of us are not.
There's going to be a transition period for sure in this town. The next 20 years, people are going to go away on paper.
Yeah.
Yes, you are
It's
correct.
not gonna just be the old people, it's gonna be the people that don't want a building permit or any permit to suddenly be $53 more than the permit just to pay for it.
So
And well, I'm gonna bring my $50 in cash and,
we would
It-
still, we
it's-
still accept checks and all of that. So that's
Yeah,
no big deal.
there's about, I would say 50 to 60% of the homeowners in town, because of the way they work, prefer the online. Like literally this week, I've entered 3 different invoices for people to pay online because their work schedule doesn't allow them
Right.
to come here.
Yeah.
And you don't like the go-go.
How many permits about do we go through in a year?
I did 108 last year.
Yeah,
108?
100 a year.
at least 100 a year.
I guess
So would we be transferring that cost to the residents?
That's
Well, no,
thing.
right now, we're paying the go-go at 4,000.
No.
I would
The
tell you
fixed
right
it, no.
now,
Okay.
based off of our current permitting payment structure, the town is losing money every time.
Right.
The town
And
doesn't
that's-
make money even if it could.
That's
Yeah.
things that we're
Plug
talking
in.
about because of if somebody appeals, your battery's dying. We aren't charging enough, so if somebody appeals, it's like
Huge cost.
supposed to be a pass through. It needs to be probably increased by like 200 to actually break
I think
even.
it needs to be increased to cover every dime.
Yes,
That is.
and that's what we're
If
talking
they
about.
don't want to build, then don't build. If they want to build,
And
you gotta pay the.
there's a lot of things that we're talking about increasing because we're seeing how nothing's been changed and the prices are going
The
up.
town can't go,
Been sucking it in.
yeah,
Been sucking
and the
it up.
town just can't keep on paying and paying and paying. 'Cause there's no, ask Julie, she can't even find 2 cents from yesterday.
Oh, she's,
I found money, so we're good now.
Um, But I mean,
Problem with you.
any homeowner wants to do something, it needs to be
Yeah.
passed right through, and we base it on 100.
Well,
Yes, no, maybe, kind of.
places charge $100 or 10% of the total cost of the house.
Right.
So if a house is $600,000,
yeah, we're gonna be discussing this in the next month with zoning, okay? So,
So what I'm getting at is $6,000 is $60 for 100 people, and it's paid for. And then you keep on charging that, and then that money goes in to pay for something else. I mean, eventually, I hate to
Correct.
say it, the town's got to realize
yes, I agree. The whole state
we're
is.
working, but
Let's think about this. Ken and Mary get us more information about the high five, and break it down, okay? And send that to us.
Okay.
And then Richard, me and Julie, and we'll go, I need monies. Julie, I need monies. Lots of monies.
And like I said, if you are adding on, you got enough money to add on, you got enough money to build, you got enough money to pay the big. If not, don't do it.
For the post office steps, finding out, I guess, this has been going on for a little while, but it finally broke.
yeah, saw it today.
And it's, where are we with it?
Yeah, so, the town guys basically chipped the rest of the step away from the corner today. They devised a sleeve to go up inside the handrail to go down into the ground and pour a new footer and concrete it into the ground. Then they're gonna build a form with rebar sticking up out of the ground for McGurk Construction to come in and re-pour concrete to entirely fix it.
The sleeve's in there now then, right?
Yes, it was done today.
They're not going to cut the whole bottom step away.
No, they chipped it away to where it was still solid. McGurk seems to think that he can fix it the way it is and frame it up and make it bright.
Patch it.
Well, I
You
mean,
think
they
the
knocked
same
about,
tonight?
Yeah, it's
It
not
We have
gonna,
another winter like this.
won't have any strength.
it's not gonna work.
that's the plan that McGurk and the maintenance guys came up with.
Are they gonna drill?
But, you know,
Are they gonna drill into the surface, into the front of the riser and the actual step and have rebar going both directions? Coming out and going up?
They were going to rebar the step and pour concrete once the rebar was done. And they're gonna rebar down also with the new concrete that they're getting ready to pour. So there's rebar sticking up and tie it into the footer in the bottom. And then whatever they need to do to secure it to the side.
okay.
Yeah,
So it sounded like to me when I was talking to Dan today, he was going to use his either a concrete drill or hammer drill
hammer drill, yeah.
to drill a hole and fix it that way.
I've also asked for the potholes to be surveyed so that we can get the potholes fixed. Okay. Julie, I know you've been sitting patiently. Tonight, we're not really going over the draft of the budget. It's more of it's going to be presented to everybody to look at. And that we have until you guys have till April 4th to give feedback on it.
No, because it's too many line items.
Yeah.
And it's 8 o'clock.
You have to do anything?
Yes.
Yeah.
The next meeting,
So-
we're going to be talking more about it.
We both.
Go ahead, Julie.
May I comment? Sorry. Thank you. So any questions you have about what is in the expenditure accounts, just let me know. Like, shoot me an email or a text and I will respond to that, or write it on your sheet and hand it to me. And I will answer those questions the next time we discuss it. There's a surplus, but there are some expenditures that are not on there, like the annexation lawyer and a couple of other things that are sitting out there that we're not quite sure what that's going to be. If that happens, I'm not sure. Can you hear me okay? We good?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
more not annexation, environmental.
Environmental, I'm sorry.
Yes.
So, there was one other thing I wanted to mention. Yeah, and I'm not sure about the revenue side. The revenue side looks good right now, but some of it is state funds, and we're just not sure. So, please feel free to, let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm happy
Okay.
to answer them. Thank
What's the
you.
winning lottery number?
Just one of
7.
Well, what we've done is, like, for instance, police, we have a $15 an hour raise. So we're gonna have to cut back on hours. So what we put in the budget is the money that we spent last year.
We're on track.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we've got that covered.
I'm
We've got
ready to
Bobby's
present.
truck, and we've covered all the anticipated stuff that we know
The
is coming and stuff. The indeterminate things in this is one, we momentarily have a little bit more coming from the state than we thought we were going to get, but that's only momentarily. We don't know for sure, because that could get pulled back. But we're not in devastating shape, but we are not in great shape. So we just have to be careful about how we spend everything. Now, what we're finding, what we do when we work through all this stuff is we go what we'd like to have and where we are, what the actuals are, and we base it. We're in the third quarter now. We still got another quarter, so we still have a pool of money over there. So then we kind of look and we figure out, okay, we've spent this much so far. Here's what we got left. Are we going to have an excess, or are we going to go under? So we do all of that stuff to get to the list, to the numbers that we have now, and we've done that as tentatively as we can. But the biggest issue in any budget is FICA, insurance, health and welfare, all that stuff that has to do with employees. So, and we don't know exactly what that is, because that changes every year, but it also goes up every year. So that's where we are.
Got it.
Was that a fair explanation, Julie?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, Mary.
I also kind of thank you for putting me at the end, because I was still tweaking the numbers until like about 20 minutes ago. So, so thanks for putting me at the end.
So did you find more money? That's all we really need to know.
Yes, I did actually.
All
There
right.
was a calculation error in what came over from the accounting system. I was like, this is
Richard?
not adding up, and it added up to our favor. So thankfully.
How many
Okay.
parts from the decimal point to the right? I'm sorry, left. Don't tell me two.
I don't know. You know what? It's 8:06. My brain shut down about 5 minutes ago.
Uh-huh.
Have we run out of slips on the?
What?
At 12.
3 people went someplace else because it wasn't ready when they came in.
We have all but for the CDOC, we have all but 12. And we have 2 of the town pier that people are not getting back So it was decided whoever comes in next
Gets it.
gets it.
Yeah.
There's not a waiting list on it?
There is, but they're not responding.
But they're not responding.
Really?
Oh,
Hudson tried to get his boat and he was
did we get
us
money for?
38 footer.
Now, one thing that we need to talk about that pier,
Easy.
one thing we need to talk about that pier, we talked about that we were not going to be doing the pump out. However, it was put into the lease that we are doing it. So everybody that signed it, put it, now wait. But because we have 51 slips, we are considered a marina and we have to open it up by the state.
But I say no.
Well, we're gonna be
Remember
fined by
that
the state.
Last time we asked that question to the lady, like $1,000 or $10,000.
What I asked is if you go onto the website, that we can ask for a grant to make sure that we are compliant and it's up to standards, and we'll go from there.
Good.
But I'm just telling you up front that it was put into the
We
lease.
told not to put it in. the
I know,
lease.
and it was. And the fact that
In fact, it's
they
somebody did their
paid-
job.
they paid, or they went to the marina meeting,
The clean marina.
meeting, and it was discussed in there, and we looked it up and we asked questions, and we have to, because we're over 50 slips.
Break one.
If we were at 49 slips, you wouldn't.
We have
need-
51
I thought there was-
slips.
Isn't that funny?
State.
51.
One just disappeared
Yeah.
overnight.
Then what if we make it
Slipped
49?
away.
It's still there.
Chainsaw.
It's there,
Mhm.
we wouldn't have to open it. If we only had 49 slips and we certified to 49 slips, we fall under the threshold of.
But
Well, what's it
People-
gonna cost to have the pump out?
Mhm,
Does it offset the cost?
mhm.
the pump's
I
already
thought we
there.
talked
The
about
pump
not,
out's already there.
I understand
Yeah.
that, but we talked about not doing that.
Correct. And it was put into the lease.
How come we keep on saying it's put into the lease? Why was it put into the lease when
But
we
it-
said don't put it in the lease?
Sounds like it's irrelevant.
Now
The
it's
state-
irrelevant.
The state
because
says we have to because the number
Someone
we
put
have.
it into the lease and sent it out.
Place would F up the wet dream.
Oh,
I'm serious, dude. I'm getting that up with this
The
shit.
CDOC lease
For who?
for everybody that got a slip. It was
for
sent
renting
out
a slip.
by the town in the lease. I saw it, it says it. Even though we said, don't do it.
Well. Find money,
What if we
find money,
got slips?
find money to
We
pay
have
for somebody
to-
to do it.
He's
we're
certified
look-
for
but-
49 slips
but
and we're certified.
What
for
I'm
50.
saying is, we don't know if it's up to par. So the state offers a grant to make sure that we are up to par.
Good.
And we're going to apply for that.
Very nice news.
Thank
Get the
you.
money in 2 years?
I think it's quicker than that. It's like $10,000
15.
or 15. And it's a grant that's actually run for marinas specifically.
Mhm.
And I'll just work with Chris and we'll figure it out.
Okay.
So I'll send him.
Is there a charge? Is there a limit to what you charge for a pump out? Is there a fee that you have to follow for a pump out? It's $50 a pump out. We won't have to pump anybody out.
Anything about having a minimum or maximum fee.
And who
If
pumps
you're,
it out?
you can charge what you
You
want.
have to have a person
Somebody
there to pump it
standing
in.
there.
I remember that.
We have to have somebody standing there and we would have to set the hours for it.
Which is the reason why we shouldn't have it in, because we don't have anybody to do that.
But it was, and didn't know it until after the fact.
Cause I was like, can't the park ranger
But
do it?
Elwood handled it as they had a
already
person that
paying
they
them.
gave a free
Wait
boat
1
slip
second.
to. Because she came into town and said, I was the Wellwoods dockmaster.
Hmm.
And she got a free boat slip and she took care of it.
She lives
Mhm.
over there.
She got a free slip and she took care of it.
Good job. Care everything was docked really.
That doesn't sound too bad. Are there any negatives to that arrangement?
Have 12 slips that aren't rented right now.
Yeah.
And she's experienced, she's done it.
That one.
Because the issue with park rangers
Mhm.
is a young person you have a environmental risk when anybody dealing with pump station. If anything gets into the water, everything gets shut
Can you
down.
send all that, all the stuff of who it is and what this person has had and all that kind of stuff so that we can talk about it?
Get all the information.
Is it Melissa?
Send it to you.
Is that the name, Alyssa?
I think that's the, I know all the information then.
You know,
Okay.
She's very handy.
Okay, good. I did say that, there's a shed that's sitting there. It's not strapped. And I don't know what the shed was being used
is
for.
that the one with the vending machines in it?
No, that's different.
It's a
Um,
gray shed.
It's just a gray shed
Yeah.
to the right when you come in. It's a black
Yeah.
bear structure sitting
Yeah.
there. So there's a lot of things that are moving. And the other part of this is, we did get a grant that the town doesn't have to pay for, but we're going to be getting 1 to 2 employees, that are going to be helping with planning for stormwater and all that. So we need to find space for them. Ken and I were over at Avalon. We're going to have a big cleaning day and we're going to get rid of a bunch of stuff that's in that building, and it has air conditioning, it has heat, it has water. And a lot of it is being cleaned out with our record keeping things that are going on. It used to have table and chairs and stuff in there. It does have electric. Ken's gonna get under the building. I did see one of the piers is a little rotten, but there's some minor things that have to be taken care of. But it is a meeting area that we can also utilize when that, I'm just bringing this up. So, the interviewing for these 2 people, will be at the end of April. So they'll probably be here May, June, and we have them for a year. And they will be, doing, easements for the stormwater. They will be, mapping of the historic trees, which I know of 2 places right now that have historic trees in the town. But also for planning, because we have to plant trees to help with the stormwater. The next project is over here at the park. They're going to be actually putting the plan together to help with that, and that's included with this grant. So
They are state employees. Are they 1099? They're contractors.
they're not even employed through us. They're employed.
Yeah, it's through this grant. It's from I think it's this Maryland Department of the Environment or somebody through that. It's
Yeah.
some sort
They
of,
don't fall under.
no, it's a Chesapeake Bay Trust. Exactly.
I was going to say, it's not the state, it's the Chesapeake Bay Trust.
And they're basically, it's almost, does anybody know what Maryland, crap, I can't think of it. They get, basically they're kids that go work for the state for basically free and they get a
Interns?
stipend. These are interns that are going to get a stipend.
Oh,
It's
okay.
basically.
Nice.
There are times that they will have to go to do things with them,
With the
but
organization.
they will be here 40 hours a week for
Yeah.
the most, 40 hours a week.
Who
And
directs them?
it'll be Ken or it'll be, I think Chris.
Chris is technically going to be that, but whomever is going to be their point of contact in town will be their 100% person. So, yeah.
So it's a win-win thing that we're getting 2 people that we don't have to pay for. So, and to help with the whole planning of everything that's going.
Yeah, and these folks are going to have a background in like critical area stuff, and
Okay.
they're not just any college kid. They
Mhm.
have to have a degree path or have already graduated with this degree.
So what I asked Ken to do is after him and Bobby assess the building is to plan a Friday or a Monday to do a clean out that will pull the trucks over there and we'll just start piling stuff up and get it out of there and we're going to clean that building up.
Yeah.
And like I said, it has handicap accessibility. There is, the bathroom can be accessed from the outside or inside. So it's, the ramps need to be, fixed because there's rotting there. But it's a good space and it just needs to be organized. So we need to get bins to organize. And I was telling him, we actually need to label it when things need to be put up. This is what this is. It needs to be put up at this time. Okay. Is there anything else can you two think of that we talked about yesterday?
No, we were talking about actually the vending machines, getting rid of them,
I think we need just keep them for a year and
see how they are.
yeah, because there's a company doing
Can we
it.
get a name?
No,
So they- it's all for
It's,
them.
yeah, they're,
Who pays, are we paying the electricity and all that and everything?
But it's a soda
part
machine.
of,
it's
part of the
bill,
overall
so
bill,
it's-
so it's.
And it might be
Receivable.
something that we talk about in the future that we look for a vendor that we get.
I'll put in a 24-hour date machine there would be a good idea, because it is a fishing pier for the most part.
I agree. Somebody was even saying about an ice machine there too, so, but bait, ice, something, but since they're already there, they're full. I think you guys agree that we keep it what it is for this year and
I have to do
Doesn't
some
really
work
cost
with
them.
that structure.
I'm sure they get used.
They're not
But-
flood-proof.
but I understand my part, you can't go.
yes, that's the other thing. And the bathhouse has to be anchored. Oh, the boats. We're down to 2 that still haven't been removed. The sailboats have come forward and have paid.
Mhm.
Okay. We need to talk about them, but they need to pay a winter storage fee since they're hanging out there all winter. And the one boat did some damage. Storm pulled it away.
Is, spring line broke loose. And allowed the bow boat to slam into the end of the dock.
Ooh.
So some things to think about, and we're down to 2. They are, the signs are on them. We just need to get them out. And I thought it was in there that Larry's supposed to take
It's-
them out.
We looked at that when we found it, and it said he was responsible for that. And he was also responsible for paying his bill by was it April 1st or March
March
15th?
15th.
March 15th.
And it hasn't been done.
And neither one has been done.
Okay. So is there anything else?
Yes,
Guys, I do.
you then go for it. I'll pass out visuals.
So Jeff and I were talking, and what Richard was saying on there with the police protection. I gotta give Jackie all the credit on this. She came up with numbers.
My daylight hours shining.
So we budgeted $40,000 initially to do roughly 40 hours a month for police protection, which equated to 477 hours a year
At the old rate.
at the old rate. And now the new rate's going up. I think we get roughly $15 an hour.
Yeah.
So it's gonna
15
cost
and change, yeah.
considerably more, 83
$83
an hour. So what we're gonna propose is, I really don't think, and we really don't think police patrols coming through here at whenever time they are, November, January, February, March, when there's really like nothing going on. Allocate monies, and we do the 40 hours in July, August, back down September, obviously hitting the Memorial Day, the Labor Day, the 4th of July, and then ramp it back up in April, May, and June and hit 40 hours in there. So basically what that does is that cuts down the hours from 477 to 224, and I think it's roughly an $18,000 savings.
Which I propose we don't take all of it and put somewhere else, but we
Yeah, right.
reinvest in some physical security things, upgrading cameras. What's the other one I said? There was another one, I think.
Found the.
Oh, the what? You found a camera? I also want the what's that light called? I said the light, like when the water main broke.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, you want to get a tow behind
Yeah.
Yeah, like
a light pole.
I think they need that. And then when we have the tree lighting or whatever else and it's dark, we at least can use it there too.
And have it.
Yes. I don't know how much they cost, but that's my suggestion.
It depends.
Rob, you know
I've
what
done some research on
You always
those
rent
that
them,
have
don't you?
those
For
roll up
lighthouse.
last year.
Yeah, we rent them.
If we get just the
If
light
they have a
towers, so we
generator,
can pull
they're
our
not
portable
cheap.
generator.
But I would
and
go
plug it in
7,500
that way.
to-
One second, I can't hear
It-
three
it-
conversations.
It's not very expensive, a couple of $1,000s.
Good.
If you get a actual generator with a light tower on it, it's 11 grand.
We'll probably have other generators.
So
We
floating
have-
around.
we
Yeah.
have a portable. I can get basically what they call construction lighting
Mhm.
that plugs into those. There's a thing that'll power a house for days. So
Oh.
you can run a few high intensity LED light stations off of it
Mhm.
quite easily.
Where we want to put the lights?
Portable.
It's
Have
a
a
portable
portable
light.
one.
For maintenance.
So like
In
the
the,
water main break, we were
at
dark
night. You have actual light to
or
work.
here at
Camera.
Christmas
Mhm.
tree lighting that we could put it up or
tree lighting
4th of July
here.
Yeah.
that we put it up in the parking lot so people can see.
Yeah, so if you just get the lights that you take along and then you plug it into your generator, still a little expensive, but it's not unrealistic. If you get the whole blown generator / pop-up light stanchion that like McGurk or one of those guys do, very expensive.
Mhm.
Cars are cheaper in some places, some
Mhm.
cases.
But we don't need it to the same degree they do. So that's our proposal. So there will be some months with 0, but as we've established, if somebody needs help, the help still comes. We just don't have to pay for it.
To your point, make a 911 call. You
Yeah.
guys are here.
And the other thing is if we agree that this is what we'd like it to look like, the next phase is we're gonna be intentional about putting that schedule request out in advance, I'd like to do quarters at a time.
Mhm.
And
Generator calendar.
yeah,
Sense.
and we'd like
Sounds
to
good.
start
Does
making
Julie have
sure.
this?
No.
No, no, we just
Yeah.
wanted to
We
present it
want to buy you
first.
guys.
Send it to
Mhm.
Julie.
That's easy.
Still, you're getting numbers. Okay, so
Sorry,
Look at
I was writing notes about something else. What was I supposed to write those down?
nope, they're gonna send them to
Okay.
you.
Try to find the money.
All right, thank you.
Finding you monies. So
Okay.
look at this. This is a very rough draft. It was a quick run through. But if you see something or want to change something, let us know. The only thing that's gonna be different is the fire department that we actually included not just the 20,000 donation, but also the tax credit is actually put into
Okay.
here this year.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm done. Tom, do you have anything?
I don't.
Richard,
Mm-mm.
Jackie,
Oh,
And-
emotion, that's what I have.
Mary, Julie? Nothing?
Right.
Is there anybody on the iPhone 13 that would like to talk? Okay, is there? a
There
motion-
is.
There's
a motion to,
Is there a second?
I think you did. Motion second every time.
She's
All
always
in
first.
favor?
Yes.
Aye, it's time for bed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Not this.